Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mercules and I'm here today bringing you a gameplay review of the low impact scout rifle archetype. This is something that's probably coming in a little bit late for most of you guys, but I just figured I'd do it because I've been playing with these guns a lot in the Crucible recently and I've been absolutely loving them. You're going to see some really cool gameplay here that I got with a couple of different weapons. I'm going to be using the Suros DIS-47 and the Touch of Malice in the gameplay you're watching, but the review is going to be over all four of the guns in this subclass. There are actually four weapons, so not too many of them. There's the Inward Lamp, which you can get from the Trials of Osiris. There's the NL Shadow 701X, which you can get from the Crucible as a random drop. There's the Suros DIS-47, which you actually get from the Gunsmith. And then there's a Touch of Malice, which you can get from the Eris Morn Quest Hunger Pangs. Out of the four of these, my favorite is definitely the DIS-47, mostly because it can roll with aim assist, and on top of that, you can actually max stability. You can get aim assist, perfect balance, hand laid stock, and an aim assist boosting sight like the SPO-28, and you can actually end up with 100 stability, max rate of fire, and I think 79 aim assist or something like that. Yeah, 79 aim assist. So it ends up being a fantastic gun if you happen to get a roll like that. The Touch of Malice and the Inward Lamp both actually come with full auto, so that's really nice because full auto is a perk that I think is absolutely necessary for this weapon class. You fire a shot every 7 frames, and that's really fast, especially for a single auto or semi-auto gun. So it's very difficult to maintain the optimal rate of fire if you don't have full auto. I tried it with an NL Shadow that didn't have full auto, and it's just really difficult. Your time to kill starts slowing down just a little bit. When that happens, the time to kill is already a little bit on the slow side at 0.93 seconds, and if you go much past that, you're not really in the competitive range anymore. So you really need to keep that rate of fire up as far as possible, and it's just difficult to do when you're feathering the trigger. So I highly advocate full auto. Like I said, Suros DIS-47 can roll with it. Touch of Malice and the Inward Lamp both come with it. The NL Shadow 701 does not, and because of that, it's actually my least recommended out of these four weapons. It can still roll with some cool stuff. You can get explosive rounds, you can get crowd control, reactive reload, the red dot OAS, which is my favorite sight in the game. You can get cool rolls with it, but I just don't find that it's really that competitive in PvP. So I tend to generally stay away from it unless I'm just trying out a fun roll or trying to goof around. But in general, I'd stay away from the Shadow. The Inward Lamp is kind of like a poor man's DIS-47. It's easier to get an okay roll because it comes with full auto, and it comes with at least one stability perk. But the problem is it has less aim assist by default and less stability by default. And so what ends up happening is, depending on the perk you get in the last column, which can be either Third Eye, Outlaw, Zen Moment, or Hidden Hand, you're pretty much guaranteed to end up with less stability or less aim assist, or both, than a DIS-47 that's well rolled. So if you don't have a DIS-47 that's well rolled, then I would say go with the Inward Lamp. I personally hate the sights on it. I don't think it's got any good sights. But if you don't have a DIS-47 that's well rolled, the Inward Lamp is a good poor man's version of it. The DIS-47 itself, like I already said, is the best one in my opinion. You can max stability. It comes with a ton of aim assist. It can get an aim assist boosting sight that's still low zoom. It's the all-around best gun. And the Touch of Malice is kind of a little bit different. The Touch of Malice isn't really like the other ones because you actually don't want to be relying on its normal full auto. You want to be getting it all the way down to the last round, which does take away some of your health when you shoot it, but it also does 61 damage for a headshot instead of 45. It does 41 damage for a body shot instead of 30. And what that means is you can actually kill someone in 2 headshots and 2 body shots in 0.7 seconds, which is insanely fast for multiplayer. So the Touch of Malice, obviously it does take away some of your health. I would not recommend it for sweaties or trials or anything like that. But if you want to run a max armor Titan build or perhaps a ram lock with high recovery, Touch of Malice is really fun in 6v6 PvP, like casual PvP. You can get some absurd kills that people are not expecting because none of the other primaries can really compete with you except for the last word up close. Even Talaylock cannot do that when it's using Overcharge or whatever. So Touch of Malice is really fun. As far as the reasons why you'd want to use these weapons in the Crucible, well, the low impact archetype actually has two really nice bonuses that come along with it. The first is that because the full auto keeps the rate of fire up as fast as it can, you can rely on that 0.93 time to kill all the way out to like super long distances. And I'm talking about distances that, even though they've got low range for a scout rifle, you're going to be outdistancing hawksaws, you're going to be outdistancing hand cannons, grasp of Malice, every auto rifle in the game. So the 0.93 might not be the fastest time to kill up close, but the thing is that all those other weapons are going to suffer damage fall off, and you're going to be still hitting for exactly as much damage as you want at exactly the perfect rate of fire. So your time to kill is actually going to surpass them once you start to hit those longer engagement distances, and that is huge. And the second factor is it flinches opponents so much. Because it is a scout rifle, and it's also full auto with a fast rate of fire, you're putting a lot of bullets into a target very quickly. And if you notice in some of these engagements that I'm in, people's aim is all over the place. And it's because they're not used to being hit by weapons like this. It is the best weapon for flinching opponents that I found out of scout rifles. You can put almost 2 bullets into someone in the time that a high impact would only put 1. And since Mida doesn't have high caliber rounds anymore, I think it's your best option for counter sniping. Obviously, you're still going to need to maintain some type of like strafe. You're not just going to want to stand there and try to pick off snipers, but you will notice that their shots are whizzing by you as their aim jumps all over the place. So just a quick recap. I know this has been a pretty short video, but a quick recap. The good is they've got an easy to achieve optimal time to kill that's useful at longer distances than most of the other primaries in the game. They have a fantastic ability to flinch other opponents, and on top of that, they're honestly just really fun to use. I find myself really truly enjoying this gun because it's so unique, it's so different from every other gun out there that I couldn't help but just enjoy the fact that I was playing with something that no one else in the game was playing. The time to kill is a bit on the slow side for, if you compare it to the optimal time to kills of the other meta guns in their perfect ranges, it is a bit on the slow side. 0.93 seconds isn't the fastest. And it takes a lot of RNG to get the perfect roll unless you want to go with the inward land. But as a conclusion, I say try it out. Take them into the Crucible, play with them. They're an absolute blast, and I cannot recommend them enough. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, my name is Mercules, and I'll see you guys next time.